Children. I think everyone can agree that protecting children should be at the top of our priorities. So being able to go to the Raptor conference,
I was about to go say
a few months ago,
you were just there.
I was able to mingle with a bunch of department heads, directors of school districts, et cetera, and a lot of them are passionately afraid of an event like that. Because imagine the impact. These teachers have these really close relationships with the kids. They want to feel safe. They want to go home to their family and oftentimes their kids, and they want these kids to go home to their families. And being able to be a part of that, like see how passionate Raptor is about that and be able to be brought in. And the funny thing about it is Raptor came to our booth and they said, here's why PDK is so important. We don't want you to ever have to use the Raptor alert feature. Now, Raptor's got a whole bunch of other cool intercommunication features, but they want you to use PDK, and they don't want you to ever have to use a lockdown. And a lot of times using security features will deter that sort of thing. And PDK is a security product. We are the only proactive security product. We can lock the doors. We can stop things from happening. You don't want to have to go and check your cameras and watch something tragic happen. You want to use access control to stop it from happening.
Welcome to the Feature Highlight Series. My name is Cole Nebaker, and in today's video, we will be exploring the Partitions feature available in the ProdataKey app. Let's take a look and program it together. Let's get started. Partitions are used to simplify the management of a ProdataKey system. It can divide departments in a company, individual businesses in a multi-tenant office, multiple floors within a building, or multiple geographical locations of the same business, all under the control of the same PDK system as a whole, but under the jurisdiction of different managers. Using partitions in this way allows you to effectively create several smaller, independently managed PDK systems under the umbrella of a single PDK customer. Let's use an example while we program this together. ABC Security is expanding from a single location to multiple locations. We will begin by creating a new partition. To begin, go to Partitions from the main dashboard in the ProdataKey app. To create a new partition, select the plus icon in the bottom right-hand corner. Assign a name to the partition. In this example, we will use West. Click Add. Each partition will need an administrator to manage their users and set of doors. To assign a user, select the plus icon next to User Accounts. The dialog box will display all users who have been given login permissions to the software. Select the user you want to be assigned to this partition. The user selected to manage a partition needs to be granted the role of manager from the Permissions tab. Select the plus icon next to doors and check the doors that this administrative user will have jurisdiction over. Be sure to hit save. And once you've done that, you've finished your first partition. We will now build another partition. Select the plus icon in the lower right of the partition screen. Give this partition a name. In this example, we will use East. Click Add. Follow the exact same steps as listed before and select Save. Now that these two partitions have been built, credential holders need to be assigned to each partition. And you're done. You can have certain individuals with higher permission levels assigned to be able to interact with users across multiple partitions. This will be the case if you have someone delegated to manage users across multiple locations, such as the executive team of ABC Security. And that's all it takes. Partitions allow you to plan and simplify your system the easy way with PDK.
The Forest of Duke is a continuing care retirement community consisting of approximately 80 cottages on 50 acres, along with 150 apartments and 90 assisted living beds. We have approximately 400 residents. We are in the middle of construction, adding 72 additional independent living units.
So Modern Systems, we're a low voltage life safety company. What do? All types of low voltage life safety to help protect the things that are most important to our customers, which is their people. The situation at Forest of Duke was the systems here were just old. So we wanted to enhance the security of the campus here, as well as bring it under one system and up to par in today's technology. When we started at the Forest of Duke, there was approximately 30 doors we were looking at taking over from the two previous systems that were in operation. We're over 160 doors now, and of course PDK can scale, and we'll be adding over 100 doors with the new IL building under construction.
PDK is everywhere throughout Forest of Duke. It is a part of our initial entrance into the campus through our 3 gates. It is a part of our access into our main community center, as well as every entry into our health center. We protect every single aspect that touches the resident. Access control afforded us the opportunity when someone misplaced a credential, it can be instantly disabled. When it is lost, it can be suspended until it is found. Going to an electronic system allowed us to be able to confidently know that our areas were safe, regardless of what time of day and where we were. One of the important distinctions about the group level of PDK is that there are very few people that need to be everywhere. For instance, we have our laundry rooms. Virtually every employee here has access to our laundry rooms. Whereas we also have medical areas where we keep our medications for our residents stored. That is restricted to licensed nursing only. The distinction between being able to assign those levels of credentials keeps us in compliance and keeps our residents and team members safe. PDK, working in collaboration with Savants and their kiosk, allowed us to get away from manual thermostat readings and excessive documentation and paperwork. And our system worked with the kiosk to screen residents, visitors, vendors in real time, determine their symptoms, and either approve or deny access to keep our residents and team members safe from exposure. My experience with PDK has been beyond satisfactory. I would recommend PDK to anyone who is looking to improve their access control and get out of the habit of needing to return physically to their location to address problems.
Thanksgiving brings turkey, pumpkin pie, and the festive aroma of quality access control. This can be shared with your family, your friends, and your customers for success. Today, I'm bringing in a special guest, my friend Tyler. Welcome on, Tyler.
Today on Cooking with Libby Stewart.
Well, Libby, I'm confused. Aren't we supposed to be making some food today?
Oh, don't be silly, Tyler. Today I'm teaching you the recipe for success. And I promise it's nothing like your grandmother's on-prem access control recipe.
Well, I don't think my grandma could tell you what access control means, but I believe you. Let's do it.
For those of you following along at home, preheat your PDK certification at accesscontrol101.com. And all the ingredients that you need will make the pilgrimage to your door. Tyler, would you mind opening that oven for me?
Of course.
Thank you. I took the liberty today of preheating a PDK dealer starter kit before you came over this glorious afternoon, which we have right here.
Wow, that smells amazing. It smells better than my grandma's turkey.
And we'll add a little cloud for finishing touch. If you want to turn this into a multiple course meal, feel free to add some side dishes. I love to pair this with 24/7 support, advanced RMAs, tiered pricing, and extended warranties and loyalty rewards.
Wow, I had no idea that access control could be this simple.
That's right, with PDK, it's easier than ever to cook up a quality access control experience. For you guys watching at home, make sure to get signed up for the accesscontrol101.com course, where you can get certified and become a PDK partner. With that, you'll receive a dealer kit just like the one that we made today. And with that being said, we'll see you next time.
That's it? There's no food at all?
Goodbye now.
Is this Wham? Who listens to Wham anymore? This song is awful. Turn it off. God, not everybody likes Wham. Wham, Wham, Wham. Cool song, Azure.
It's the holiday season in the PDK office, but Sean doesn't seem to have a whole lot of holiday spirit. A few days ago, a bunch of us thought it'd be fun to create a reporting list of custom fields that showed who was on the naughty and nice list in the office.
No, that's why you're on the naughty list.
What?
That explains it.
Explains what? What does that explain, Tanner?
Nothing. Nothing.
The PDKIO naughty list.
No. 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 No, 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 no. Wait a second, no. No. Damn it, Tanner. Damn it, Tanner. I know this was you, you giant heaping, worthless, hot piece of garbage. Taking me off of that list.
No can do, buddy. I can't move your name until you make it off of the list.
Pathetic. Watch this, Down.
Yeah.
Who are you? Whoa, whoa, whoa!
You better start doing some good deeds, Sean.
If I'm gonna get off of this naughty list, I have to go over to tech support. There's nobody I know that's gonna be better. They're always on the nice list. First of all, they answer the phones extremely fast. They have 24/7 support. They do basically anything our partners ask. Some of our partners even say that they're therapists. You, come.
Okay. If you want to get off the naughty list, these are the things you got to do. 1, smile. 2, be kind. Are you listening?
Yes.
You got to show that you're listening. Nod, smile. Okay, be there. Care, listen, or as I like to call it, spickle. Change your face.
Smile. Be kind. Be there. Our tech support is awesome. Nobody in tech support's on the naughty list.
You're right.
Did you hear that?
So they'll put you on.
Tanner, no. No. You're not dying on me today.
What's
buddy.
going on? Dude, Sean!
On me today, buddy.
Sean, I'm okay. I'm okay. Sean, okay.
I got you.
I'm fine.
Blow, buddy. Blow. Blow. Good boy. Again? How many times do I have to tell you guys that this song does not represent Christmas? Okay? This is not a Christmas song. The Amish, now they know how to celebrate Christmas.
PDK can tie into almost any third-party alarm panel using a dry contact and a combination of PDK and alarm panel outputs and inputs. This can enable you to activate and deactivate alarm panels while maintaining the user-friendliness of a PDK access control system. To get started, you will need to bridge your PDK panel to an alarm panel. Any PDK panel will suffice, but make sure that you have sufficient relays available on your PDK controller to trigger both the arm and disarm option on the alarm panel. Start by taking a wire from PDK's common on the relay and tying it into the common or ground of the alarm panel. Take a second wire and tie it into the normally open of PDK's relay, running the other end into the disarm of the alarm panel. Likewise, if there is an arm option on the alarm panel, take another 2 pair of wire and do the same. Common of PDK panel to common of the alarm panel, normally open of PDK panel to arm of alarm panel. Some alarm panels only have a single input labeled arm/disarm, in which case you will only need a single PDK relay to arm and disarm the alarm system. Keep in mind that each relay activation of this kind of input will toggle between armed and disarmed, so your programming will need to reflect more selective criteria. There is some light programming required through the ProdataKey app or PDK.io. For this scenario, we will be using the ProdataKey app to showcase how to set up your alarm. Don't worry, these steps are the same. Step 1. Create a new device in the Configuration tab. This device will either be a generic I/O or premium I/O device. The key difference here is that a generic I/O device will take an input from an already installed reader on the system to trigger the alarm panel. A premium I/O device will be independently controllable in the case that you want to be able to arm and disarm the alarm system from the software interface in addition to a reader. Step 2. Once you've created a device, or 2 devices in the case of the alarm panel having 2 separate inputs, navigate to a group of people that will be allowed to arm and disarm the alarm panel. Step 3. Hit plus next to rules and toggle over to event. These are called group events. Step 4. On this page, your trigger will be your if statement, while the action will be your then statement. We want our statement to be, if access is allowed, then open and close the alarm panel relay. Therefore, we populate trigger with access allowed and action with open/close. Step 5. Populate the relay duration. Indicate the input assigned to the door's reader and the output assigned to the generic or premium alarm panel relay that we programmed earlier. Hit save. Step 6. If we have a second relay tied into the alarm panel's arm input, we will need to create a secondary group event doing the same thing. Optionally, you can change the input type from access allowed to access allowed on multi-swipe, so that people do not inadvertently activate or deactivate the alarm panel with a standard card swipe. That's all you need to get started with a simple PDK and alarm panel integration, taking your access control capabilities to the next level with alarm functionality too. For assistance or to learn more, contact your sales rep or email sales@ProdataKey.com. Hello and welcome to the Product Discovery Series. My name is Cole Nebaker, and today we will be exploring PDK's ruggedized reader selection. Let's get started. Rugged readers are robust and attractive PDK readers capable of withstanding even the harshest environments. These devices come in 2 sizes and 4 varieties: a mullion with a keypad, a mullion without a keypad, a gang size with a keypad, and a gang sized without a keypad. The readers are made of a durable anti-corrosive zinc alloy material, Not only does this make them extremely durable, it makes them stylish and approachable. The keypad, if equipped on your model of the rugged reader, uses a reinforced glass face with an integrated backlit touch capacitive keypad. The ruggedized readers are all IP68 rated for weatherproofing and IK10 rated for impact resistance. The temperature capabilities of this device are also designed for almost any environment, ranging from -4 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. These readers are capable of outputting a Wiegand protocol, accepting a prox card input, a pin input, or both. It can read any standard prox input ranging from 26 to 37 bits. Additionally, this reader can be adjusted to output either a 4-bit or an 8-bit pin burst to be compatible across a wide range of access controllers. Wiring includes 2 wires for power, a data 0 and a data 1 as well. Additional wires are integrated into all ruggedized readers, allowing you to control additional features such as the piezo and the LED on board the reader itself. Following programming guidelines, you can configure the reader to include an administrator password, enable and disable anti-tamper functionality, alter lighting activity, and more. This reader design is diverse in its capabilities and can be mounted at a wide variety of entrances. Regardless of whether you're needing a durable reader for a specific application or whether you need a visually appealing design for a higher end application, this reader can accommodate everything. So if you want a reader that is both clean and very durable for your next install, look no further than the ruggedized readers by PDK.
Well, so we're going to talk a little bit about these different types of sensors and how they can really be utilized in a lot of different environments, so that you guys, as the installers, can go ahead and provide the best installation for your customers. I mean, ultimately, one of the most important things that I think that is out there as far as sensors goes is a door position sensor.
100%.
Why are you not installing door position sensors?
Yeah. I ask that question all the time.
You have to install a door position sensor.
A lot of people don't realize that almost 40% of the functionality of a high-quality access control system like ProdataKey is dependent on a door position sensor.
It delivers so much value for a less than $20 part.
Yeah. I mean, having access control requires you to understand and know the state of the door. And that's what a door position sensor lets you know. Is it open or is it closed? Aside from the locking mechanism, it lets you know whether it's open or closed.
Yep.
That is part of the proactive value that comes with access control. Otherwise, it's just electronic locking.
This is me getting real with all of you right now.
Me too.
If you don't have a door position sensor installed on your system, it's not monitored access.
He's on fire.
He's getting it.
Dude,
Sorry, guys.
Brock doesn't get like that very often.
I'm a little sad I wore my hoodie today. It's got warm in here.
He's dying over there, dude.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another access control coaching session. My name is Cole Nebaker. I am the training and events manager for PDK and I am joined today by Sean Blaisdell.
Hey everybody, what are we talking about today, Cole?
We are going to be talking about how to build your business using recurring monthly revenue. And Sean is low-key an expert in this matter. Before he came to PDK, he worked at several integrators and specialized in selling RMR. So we are going to have him lead the discussion today.
Beautiful. It's actually one of my favorite topics, so let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be going over today. So you're going to learn a little bit about ProdataKey. We're going to talk about the different types of access control that are out there. We're going to talk a lot about the value of access control. This is very important when you're selling generally, but it's especially important when you're talking about recurring revenue, because one of the questions you're going to get is, Why am I paying monthly? So we're going to talk a lot about that today. And then we're going to get into the actual building of the recurring revenue model, and that's it. Awesome. So ProdataKey's been around for quite a while now, since 2011. We are one of the fastest growing companies in Utah for like 9 or 10 consecutive years now. We're getting louder, please. Well, let's try to adjust the mic. All right. Is that better? Hopefully.
It folded back down there.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Well, let's do this.
Yeah.
All right. Now, one of the things that was really important to ProdataKey is we wanted to come out with something that was more valuable. Legacy access control is definitely a thing in the past. We even hear that from integration partners on the daily. I had a phone call with a partner this morning who said, everything I'm installing right now is just, it's antiquated. And so we wanted to take a look at PDK, and so we're going to help him out with that. And we're also growing extremely fast. Again, we are one of Utah's fastest growing companies, and it's been 9 consecutive years, which is just insane and also a pleasure. All right, so it's important to understand what access control is. So what is access control? It is the selective restriction of access to a place or resource. Now, what is access management? This is really what separates PDK from the rest. You want to make sure you have a system that you can manage very easily, that the end user can manage and learn without taking tons of time and energy. So the access management is the process of entering user information and permissions to entry points. And then the act of accessing, which is just entering or using an authorized credential to gain access. All right, so traditionally, what access control has been is an on-prem system, which means that the system is local. So your on-site management means your admins must be at the location to use system-specific computer and network servers to manage their systems, users, and audit logs. This is the old way of doing things. You're also more subject to network vulnerabilities, vulnerable to new and existing security threats through static IP addresses on a customer's network and lack of consistent updates. Speaking of updates, it also requires manual updates. Updates must be manually updated on site after the computer operating system is no longer supported. The on-premise system cannot be updated. We run into this time and time again on on-prem systems when we're talking to dealers that are trying to upgrade existing customers. So on-prem is definitely a thing of the past. All right, now what are end users actually looking for with their access control system? Well, we asked them, and the 2 most important things were remote access and ease of use. So remote access is pretty straightforward. You want to be able to access your system remotely, make changes, add new schedules, send out permissions. These are all very important things for end users because it's 2025. We're becoming more and more remote, and being able to access things remotely is super important. And then ease of use. This is another one that's very important. Even if a customer can access their system remotely, if it's difficult, if it's time consuming, they're not going to want to do that. They want something that's going to be easy to use. Pull it away a little bit? Okay, sorry. All right, so we talked earlier about how we're going to talk about value. So one thing that was really important to PDK is we wanted to be able to use the system anytime, anywhere, on any device. And that is something that we tout all the time with our marketing team. And then third-party integrations. We get asked often, hey, what about these other competitors that have, Berg, cameras, and access control all under one umbrella? Though we understand the need to have, a one-size-fits-all solution, our approach was, hey, we want to be the very best at what we do, which is access control, and we'll let our partners be the best at what they do, and we'll just partner up. So we have tons of their integrations. Be sure to reach out to your sales guy and ask about what integrations we currently offer. And being cloud-based makes it super easy to continue to add to them. We're adding like 7,000 integration partners a month, it seems like. We're just constantly adding integration partners. And then real-time updates. We talked about on an on-prem system how you have to be there on site to actually, update the system, and that's if the operating system hasn't, been outdated. So we do real-time updates. Oftentimes these updates go out, people aren't even aware of them, and your system immediately, is got a new feature added. And there's an old saying around here we say all the time, which is when you install a PDK system, it's going to be the worst it ever was the day it was installed. It's only going to get better, which is pretty rare for any product. All right, so tons of value for the cloud. One of the things I love to point out on this particular slide is proactive support. Being able to log into your system as an integrator, a dealer, to take a look at how a system is operating. We have a system health tab, which has been amazing. And you can go in and you can proactively support your customers, make sure that their systems are functioning correctly. And then Cole, I mean, I think you've designed a handful of systems in your day.
I have.
Would you say that PDK is scalable?
I would say it's very scalable. Regardless of where you're starting and regardless of how much budget that the client has, it's very easy to move up from there. So very often I would see this at schools, for example. You know, they have, schools unfortunately are not very well funded, and so they have very small budgets for their access control systems. They can start small, install maybe some DPSs on all their classroom doors, and then they can scale up from there and install more doors as the budget comes in.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. The scalability of our systems it's a lot of fun. I love when dealers ask like, hey, I need a bill of materials for 8 doors. And I'm like, well, let's talk about a little bit more. Like, are we separating doors? Are we centralizing everything? So a very scalable solution for sure. Another misconception is that cloud-based actually costs more. And over time, it's definitely a lower cost. And we actually have a sales training that our marketing did. It's on accesscontrol101.com. I would definitely recommend going to take a look at that. It goes into a deep dive as to how our system is actually a lower cost compared to on-prem. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. All right, now the ProdataKey app, the reason why we separate ourselves with our app specifically is because it's a one solution, meaning you can log in from a web browser, you can download the app, and the experience is going to be exactly the same, which is pretty rare. I mean, even with my banking app, there's some things I could do on the banking app, but then I'm limited, right? So now I have to go to a web browser and log in. But with PDK, it was extremely important for us to make sure that you can configure your system, you can troubleshoot it, the administrators can manage, they can get notifications, right? Access doors from the app. So you could do everything from the app that you could do on the web browser, and that's extremely important to make sure that we have a mobile experience at every level. Hey, everybody. All right, so our number one goal is to protect life and property, right? It's extremely important to us. We are a security solution at the end of the day, and we want to make sure you can do it easily. We want to make sure that you can issue mobile credentials directly from any device, which goes into the mobile-first experience that we've talked about. And then we also offer unlimited number of mobile credentials as well. All right, so let's talk about the different types of access control, right? We have good, better, and best. Now, good is on-prem, right? An access control solution, even if it's on-prem, is better than not having one at all for many reasons, right? But the profits are limited to only hardware sales and labor, and that's it as far as profits go. Better is a cloud-based solution. So your profits are produced by hardware, labor, and also the hosting fees, of course. And then best is going to be mobile first, which we talked obviously about in the last couple of slides. So profits are produced by hardware, labor, hosting fees, and mobile credentialing options. So let's talk about how to build RMR, how to build that value. So the very basic is obviously with the monthly subscriptions, right? So you sell, the monthly fees to your customers, right? And you're going to automatically generate recurring revenue that way, okay? Another option is maintenance agreements. So what this is you give your customers maintenance built into the recurring revenue so they could budget for the entire year. They don't have to worry about surprise fees with service or whatever might be going on. So you could build that in and then charge an additional premium amount. You can also get more creative. So a couple of the dealers that I worked for in the past prior to my time at ProdataKey, this was actually one of my favorite ways to build value behind the recurring revenue. They actually built in the cost of the hardware into the monthly fees, right? Now, not everybody can do this, but this is a more creative approach that you absolutely can do to generate more recurring revenue. You can offer lease options, you can offer warranties, and that's how I was able to beat my competition, even when the monthly fees on my end were more, was because I was able to build a ton of value in what they were paying for. People love to know, hey, I'm going to pay this flat amount, I don't have to worry about any surprise fees throughout the year. So I could budget my entire year right up front, right? And then mobile credentials. That's another way that you could build additional recurring revenue using our Bluetooth option. And that will allow you to generate a ton more recurring revenue as well. All right, so we get asked often, hey, what should I charge my dealers, right? And that's a tough question because it really depends on the value that you're going to be providing to your customer. If you feel icky when you're selling recurring revenue, it's probably because you're not really adding much value with whatever you're charging. So what we typically see is anywhere from $8 to $15 per door, kind of on average, just for the hosting fees themselves, right? And other manufacturers are usually 20 plus per door, which makes us competitive all while adding value. Now, if you wanted to add in managed services, so like we were talking about, maintenance agreements or leasing options, things like that, then it could range from $10 to $30 per door, or even more, depending on what you're adding in with that particular value. Other manufacturers are usually around 40 plus, so we're still competitive all while adding value at the same time. All right, now here's the exciting part. If you are a dealer and you're not currently selling recurring revenue, these numbers are going to blow your mind. Okay, so with a traditional security company that doesn't have any recurring revenue, you're not going to get much out of your evaluation simply because your assets, they depreciate, right? If you have physical assets like vehicles and things like that, they're going to depreciate. So your company value, let's say that your annual revenue is $1 million, your company value is going to be around $150,000. Now, new age security companies that are taking advantage of building recurring revenue, you're going to see here that same company that has an annual revenue of $1 million, their total recurring revenue is at $26,000. That puts their company value at over $1 million. And that's just with $26,000 of recurring revenue. So imagine if you get that to $100,000 or $500,000. It's going to be an insane number, and it's also going to provide you a lot more stability when and if tough times come, right? During COVID, as an example, I know companies that had recurring revenue were like, it's tough times, but hey, we're still afloat because we have this recurring revenue coming in. Another benefit that doesn't get talked about enough, I think, is capital expenditures versus operational expenditures. Okay, so CapEx versus OpEx. With CapEx, you're looking at having to be taxed on everything because you're purchasing servers, support equipment, usually around $20,000 especially for larger systems. Then you have to have in-house IT personnel, power and storage, and then your assets are depreciating. But when you move over to the cloud, you get a capital-free investment, pay-as-you-go service. It easily expands as you grow, as we talked about with the scalability, and then tax benefits. Because it's an operational expense, you can actually get a tax break on it. All right, my favorite equation. All right, this is value equals appraisal minus cost. Now, we talked a ton about value today, and this equation sums it up perfectly. The way that you want to look at this is if your customer is appraising whatever you are selling, right? If that appraisal is lower than the cost that you're giving it to them for, they will never, just drop the mic, sorry about that. They will never buy, right?
He's just
and
really passionate.
Yeah, just super passionate about this. Absolutely. I just threw the mic across the room. But they'll never buy, right? And this goes for anything. Think about any purchase that you might make throughout the month or your life. If your appraisal is lower than the cost, and you're just simply saying, hey, that product or that service is simply not worth the cost. So when you're a partner, you either need to lower your cost or increase the value to get that appraisal to go up to close any deals. So when you're talking about recurring revenue, it's extremely important that the customer understands, what am I paying for? What is this monthly service actually giving me? And you want to build that appraisal as high as you possibly can. And as long as the appraisal from your customer exceeds the cost of what you're giving it to them for, they will see the value and they will buy. And I could speak to this. I was a number 2 sales rep in Southern California, and I had to learn this very quickly because the company I worked for, we were all about that recurring revenue. And anytime I was competing with one of our competitors, my monthly fees were always significantly higher. And I still had to learn how to close. And so I could speak to this from personal experience. This absolutely works. So I would jot this down. Go see our sales training. There's more in depth on this as well. Talk to any of our salespeople; they'll tell you the same thing. But make sure that you're building as much value as possible in order to generate more recurring revenue.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Sean. Yeah. As soon as we decided on this topic, it was a no-brainer that we needed to get Sean in here because he has single-handedly taught our entire inside sales team from where I come. This is something that he ingrained in me while I was in inside sales, was the value equation. It's a very important equation to understand in order to close more sales and generate that recurring monthly revenue for your business. So that covers it. If anybody has any questions, be sure to leave them right now because we are wrapping up. But on that note, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any of this future content because we're going to have more content just like this. We're going to have some sales focused, we're going to have some technical focused, and even some marketing focused content to help all of our partners generate some of that recurring revenue and grow their business. I don't see any questions coming in. Granted, we're on a 30-second delay. I've been trying to go on a tangent here for the past 30 seconds to give people time to leave their questions, but I still don't see any coming in, so I think we're good. Tune in next time. It's always the first Tuesday of every month. 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Always join us. We have some awesome topics. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, just be sure to reach out to your sales team. You can reach out to our sales line, the sales email. If you need help with system design, bill of materials, you have questions about recurring revenue, maybe it's new for you and it's something that you haven't really participated in very much, we can help give you some feedback of what we experience with our dealers and really help you understand how to build that value behind recurring revenue.
Perfect. Thanks everyone for joining in, and we'll catch you next time.